Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
We begin tonight with the newest information on a deadly plane crash in the Southern Valley.
We now know the name of the pilot who lost his life after his crop dusting plane went down in Sargent County, North Dakota. Officials say John Geiger of Barney, North Dakota, was pronounced dead at the scene. Valley News Team's Molly Casey spent the day near Gwinner, where it happened, and has the latest details.
They were pretty shaken by the whole incident.
Around 7:50 this morning, a farmer called 911 after watching a small plane crash into his bean field.
It came out of a fog bank and just went straight into the ground.
Gwinner emergency response crews arrived on scene to find the plane in pieces and work to extract Geiger.
It was a traumatic process. It's not anything that we're used to.
Despite recovery efforts, Geiger was declared deceased. After emergency crews cleared the scene, the Federal Aviation Administration arrived to begin their investigation.
They're getting information from the plane, from the GPS, physical evidence that's on the ground, the aircraft maintenance, the pilot's history, those types of things, and maybe get some answers along with an autopsy being conducted.
No official cause of the crash has been released, but weather reports for the area indicated dense fog had formed where the plane crashed.
We do think the fog had a major contributing factor.
The FAA will release a report detailing the cause of the crash once the investigation is complete. From Gwinner, Molly Casey, Valley News Live.
Wilbur Ellis, the company Geiger worked for, released a statement saying it will be working closely with authorities as they investigate this crash and that their thoughts are with the pilot's family, friends, and colleagues.
As mentioned in Molly's story, eyewitnesses told authorities about the dense fog around the time that the plane went down. Our chief meteorologist, Hutch Johnson, did some checking. He joins us now with specifics of the weather conditions this morning in that area. Hutch?
Thank you so much, Mike. Yes, there is instrumentation in the Gwinner area with regards to visibility. As we were going through the overnight last night, there was a lot of dense fog in the northern valley, northeast portions of North Dakota. So we focus on this from the 1 o'clock in the morning hour and pass through time. We see a pocket of pretty dense fog in the Cheyenne River Valley near Valley City by 3 to 4 a.m. We start noticing a decrease in visibility in the Gwinner area. Now, as the sun rose on our day at 5:30, we still had 6 miles of visibility, but going through the morning hours, there was some quick changing conditions with visibility down to a mile, a half mile, even a quarter mile or less at times before it started clearing up in the 7 o'clock hour. So certainly visibility conditions were changing in the area where the crash did occur, and that is what we've noticed with that throughout the morning. Most of the fog was up north, but it briefly snuck down the Cheyenne River Valley.
All right, thanks, Hutch. In other news tonight, we're learning more about the search for a man authorities say may have drowned while swimming in the Red River. Fargo police say this man, 24-year-old Fanuel Asrat, was last seen around 5 this morning. They're asking anyone with information about his whereabouts to contact them. Searchers were called to the West Dike near 4th Street South in Fargo around 7:30 a.m. Witnesses say that Asrat and 2 other men were swimming in the water when they lost sight of him, but they were unsure if he got out on the Moorhead side. Authorities say the current is strong where the men were swimming, and crews have been searching both the water and the banks around the river.
We're also following new developments in a story out of Minnesota's Beltrami County. The sheriff's office there and Bemidji police need your help finding a woman they believe disappeared while walking outside of town. 26-year-old Chelsea Batchelder was last seen on June 19th. Authorities say she's a white woman, 5'4", 115 pounds. She has a turtle tattoo on her foot and the word Cecilia on her left forearm. After looking at surveillance video and searching the surrounding area, investigators determined that Batchelder disappeared while walking on Little Norway Avenue, which is near her home. They're asking people in that area to search their yards, outbuildings, and wooded lots. You can call the Beltrami County Sheriff's Office at 218-333-9111 if you have any information.
It's been said that once your picture's posted online, it's there forever. But an activist group aiming to protect children and teens is trying to change that. A group out of Canada trying to protect children wants to help. They say if it's posted on a social media site like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or Google, there are certain policies. To remove your photos from the site, send them an email, tell them you're under 18. Say you're the person in the photo and you didn't agree for it to be posted. A local technology expert says it can be very difficult to get pictures taken off of some websites. Some will take them off and take them down if you send an email. Others will not unless you take legal action.
Our very own Chris Berg was part of the White House press briefing earlier today with Deputy Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Chris was brought in via a Skype seat. He asked what the Trump administration is doing to give pipeline companies more clarity and certainty for their energy infrastructure, and at the same time make sure tribal nations are respected during the pipeline permitting process.
We're doing a part of the review of the Dakota Access Pipeline. It's the administration working with those tribal leaders and stakeholders throughout that process to make it as successful as possible. A lot of the tribal leaders also want to expand energy production and development in their area, and we're going to work continuously with them to try to make that as successful as possible.
For most of the briefing, many reporters asked questions about the president's tweets regarding Mika Brzezinski from The Morning Joe show.
CNN is reporting that the House Intelligence Committee plans to interview former National Security Advisor Susan Rice next month as part of its investigation into Russian meddling in the U.S. election last year. She has agreed to appear in a closed-door session that's expected to take place before the House departs for its August recess. President Trump and Republicans have accused Rice of revealing the names of Trump's transition aides in intelligence reports, saying that officials with the Obama administration were trying to divulge damaging information about the Trump campaign. Rice has vehemently denied doing anything wrong.
The Trump administration's travel restrictions blocking foreigners from 6 Muslim-majority countries took effect today. The move comes after the Supreme Court temporarily upheld portions of the president's travel ban on Monday. The High Court's ruling allowed President Trump to place a 90-day ban on foreign travelers from 6 countries. There will also be a 120-day ban on refugees fleeing persecution from any country when they have no bona fide relationship with an entity or a person in the U.S. The Supreme Court has granted full review of the travel ban, and oral argument is set for October. The FM Redhawks had a special reason to walk out onto the field tonight. Veterans from throughout the Fargo-Moorhead area were the guests of honor.
Valley News Team's Clint DeRose has the story of one family that received an extra special helping hand.
Tonight's crowd isn't just here to enjoy America's favorite pastime. They also came together to celebrate some of America's favorite Americans. The Newman Outdoor Field hosted Military Appreciation Night, where veterans could take part in pre-game activities and some cheaper seats. Among those being honored is one man whose blood runs thick with ties to the military.
My dad did 30 years, I did 24 years, and my brother Todd did 20 years. So all in all, 74 years in the military, but with our family alone.
Throughout his years of service, Lawrence Carl was deployed multiple times as a member of the Army National Guard. He managed to come back in one piece. But like many veterans, he struggled to return to his old life.
Because you were so scared over there that it affected you when you came back. You had to start to relearn certain things when you came back to civilian life.
Lawrence spent years serving his country. Now, he and his wife Cynthia are getting some appreciation that they can take to the bank. Multiple organizations came together to give the family a year of free groceries, saving them more than $5,000. A little bit of thanks for more than 2 decades of service. In Fargo, Clint DeRose, Valley News Live.
Carls appreciates all the support that he's received since coming home and says that other veterans coming back with unseen wounds should open up, even if those subjects are difficult to talk about.
Typically, you hear of pet owners reuniting with their lost animal after a few days, certainly not years. Jessica Magoon of Fargo lost her cat in Moorhead on June 23rd of 2016. She contacted shelters, pounds, and posted information on local Facebook groups. This past week, she was notified via Facebook in a local lost and found pet group that her cat was found. That cat was about 2 miles away from her old home.
And then we just started calling her, and she kind of like looked at us like weird, but then she just started running for us. She walked right over. I was so happy. She let me pick her up and everything.
It's important to notify pounds, shelters, and neighbors if your animal does run off. Also to turn animals into the local pounds if they don't belong to you so they can be reunited with their owners.